Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today, do not push the machine. Too many of us are unable to resist pushing a button once the mechanism has been placed before us. But sometimes the better point of discretion is to decline your case, to let things go as they may, and to excuse oneself daily from the roiling and coy tinkering with the margins of a push-button result. The best relief from pressure is to not to start to press. We are surrounded by machines and mechanists and processes that are set in place to make things happen. But many formal mechanicals will not begin unless invoked with a push. My advice is to be wary of invocation. Do not press go. Do not grease the gears of a machine in which the end result may look predictable, but is really an unknown danger by design. Unless your life or body are in danger, it is always best to avoid the machine. A machine is a political abutment that cannot wait to fire up and run. That's why it's designed. And it's set to run you over. Be very wary of processes and chains of command and committees and oversight, because like an editor with a blue pencil, when people are tasked to find wrongdoing, they will go out of their way to find something wrong in order to perpetuate their role in the machine and, in the matter of the editor, to keep earning a paycheck for placing marks in blue on a pristinely argued paper. When a button is pressed, when a process is started, it doesn't end until it is naturally stopped on its own. Yet the end is never natural. There is no pause button when the machine starts coming up to speed. When people are called upon, they are required to respond or face their own fate in the next pushed machine. For example, if someone makes a formal complaint about someone, a process begins. A machine is started. Bosses are involved, or the police are called, or street justice is done. Once the formal complaint has been put into the world, it cannot be taken back. It must spin out to its never identifiable conclusion, and you are gambling that by beginning the process, you will end up with the result you want. Be wary of your wants. One major university faculty union warned their members that if they are accused of a crime or some other ferociousness by a student or someone else in the system, that person is pressing the button first in the case. Do not allow the university to intervene and do due diligence and findings and studies and become the determiner of fact by you doing as they wish and pressing the university button for them. Because then you, the faculty member, are at grave risk for not winning, even if you are innocent of all charges. If the accusation is one of criminality, you must then press the machine to invoke your right to go through the legal process and not the university box. Your chances are much better for a true finding of fact in a criminal court system because there are stays and processes and ways of appealing that are set in case law. A university inquiry machine has no such outside observance or pathways to rebuttal and confrontation of your accuser. A machine set to grind will not be stopped until you are meatless. If there is something untoward, the university will want to try to keep it all in their system for the hushing and your hanging. The university will press you into staying within their system and not going outside to the criminal system because they prefer to save face, keep things quiet, and deal with you as they wish to end with you, and not how a criminal court may find fact. Do not press that university button. Reach outside the system, protect your rights, be smart, and press your chances in the public court of opinion and punishment. You'll be better off in the end, even if the university decides to investigate you on their own. Don't participate. They cannot force your testimony if you have a criminal case pending. Now, in less serious matters, for a worker to try to cause trouble for a boss or an overseer in the marketplace, pressing the button of the machine often leads to human resources and your inevitable decommission. Human resources may pretend to be on the side of the worker, but their job is to really protect the status quo, to keep things the same, and to make you and your complaint go away as quickly as possible. Because then they look like they're doing their job and earning their pay. The machines of us know these troubles, and that's why arbitration clauses are invoked in many boilerplate contracts. Be wary of them. Cross them out. Arbitration is set up to help the machine, not you. For the machine pays the arbitrator and sets the standard of the greasing of the gears. No right attorney working on your behalf would ever advise you to sign a contract with an arbitration clause. Good attorneys want every avenue open to them in getting you the best possible deal if things go off the rails. Contracts are for resolving disputes, not for the enjoyment of both parties. Contracts are intended to keep each party unhappy in perpetuity, because that discordance with the agreement is what keeps everyone in place and behaving as well. Be wary of Deus Ex Machina, the God in the machine, also known as the ghost in the machine if you're more secular. But the idea is the same. An inhuman entity leaps out of a box at the end of a story to solve every problem with a single declaration. Deus Ex Machina is not made for you. It is created for the simple disposal of you, and those mechanizations are everywhere in real everyday doing, because you have no idea which God lives in the machine, or why that ghost was set inside that particular box for you in the first place. Ancient playwrights Aeschylus and Euripides used the Deus Ex Machina method a lot to end their plays, and audiences were universally unhappy because they felt the end of the story was cheated, and that the gods, and not the characters themselves, were determining fate. As Aristotle warned in the Poetics, it is obvious that the solutions of plots, too, should come about as a result of the plot itself, and not from a contrivance as in the Medea and in the passage about the sailing home in the Iliad. A contrivance must be used for matters outside the drama, either previous events which are beyond human knowledge, or later ones that need to be foretold or announced. For we grant that the gods can see everything. There should be nothing improbable in the incidents, otherwise it should be outside the tragedy. For example, in Sophocles' Oedipus. All of history changed when man looked to himself for forgiveness and not to the gods for punishment. Yes, the court system we previously discussed is also a box in a machine, but it is slightly more predictable than a god invocation, especially if there's no jury involved. The Twilight Zone television show is a prime example of the god in the machine, where everything was a dream, or nothing actually happened, or something ethereal bends down from the heavens to set the poor people right. Now, the Twilight Zone was popular because of unpredictable surprises, not really known for great storytelling. All machine outcomes are unpredictable, even if you made the machine and even if you know you are right. Because machines are built by people and executed by people, and the belief that any machine is infallible or predictable and unfailing is precisely why they are created to serve our most fate-filled efforts. Remember, Deus Ex Machina is dangerous, both on stage and in the real tremors of your lifetime at work and play. The god in the machine is a moral cheat that feels good only to the god and never the man. Ghost in the machine is the definition of the greasy, gray space between the moral hollow and the punitive fallow. All a machine that has already been pushed. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.